You're standing somewhere cold, or a song hits a certain note, or someone tells a story that lands wrong in your chest. And suddenly the skin on your arms tightens into hundreds of tiny bumps, and every hair stands straight up. Goosebumps. You've had them thousands of times. You've never once chosen to have them. And here is the strange part. They do absolutely nothing for you. Nothing. Your hairs standing up does not warm you. It does not protect you. It does not help you in any way at all. So why does your body still do it every single time without ever asking your permission? The answer is that goosebumps are not really yours. They are a leftover, a ghost of an animal you stopped being about 1 million years ago, still running in your skin. And once you understand what they were originally for, you will never look at your own arm the same way again. So let's start with what's physically happening, because it's stranger than you'd guess. Underneath every single hair on your body sits a tiny muscle. It's called the erector pili. It's so small you could never feel it working, and you have millions of them. When that muscle contracts, it tugs on the base of the hair, yanking it upright, and it pinches the surrounding skin into that little raised bump. Hundreds of thousands of microscopic muscles all pulling at once in perfect unison in less than a second, and you cannot control a single one of them. Try it right now. Try to give yourself goosebumps by deciding to. You can't, because that muscle isn't wired to the part of your brain that makes decisions. It's wired to your sympathetic nervous system, the ancient automatic circuit that also handles your heartbeat, your pupils, and your fight or flight response. When you get goosebumps, the same chemical that floods your body in an emergency, adrenaline, is what pulls those hairs up, which tells you something enormous right away. Goosebumps are not a skin thing. They are an alarm going off. So what is the alarm for? Here's where it gets good. Because the answer isn't found in humans at all. It's found in every furry animal on the planet. Watch a cat that gets startled. Its tail puffs out, its back arches, and its entire coat stands on end, and suddenly a small cat looks like a much bigger cat. Watch a threatened bird fluff itself into a ball. Watch a porcupine, a chimpanzee, a wolf. All of them do exactly what you do. Same muscle, same nerve, same reflex. And for them, it does two spectacularly useful things. The first is insulation. When an animal's fur stands up, it traps a thick layer of air between the hairs and the skin. That trapped air is a warm blanket. It's the exact same principle as the down in a winter jacket. A cold animal fluffs up and instantly gets warmer. The second is intimidation. When a threatened animal's fur rises, its silhouette swells, it looks larger, more dangerous, harder to kill, and in the wild, looking bigger can end a fight before it starts. That's a real life-saving trick. Charles Darwin noticed this. In 1872, he wrote a whole book about how emotions show up in the bodies of humans and animals, and he pointed out that the hair-raising of a frightened human and the hair-raising of a frightened animal are the same reflex, inherited from the same ancestor. He understood over a century ago that your goosebumps are a fossil, and once you know that, you start seeing it everywhere. The dog whose hackles rise along its spine when a stranger approaches, the rat that puffs up when cornered, the chimpanzee whose hair stands on end before a display of aggression. None of them are deciding to do it. It is happening to them the same way it happens to you, from a circuit that was already ancient before any of these species existed. So let's reconstruct the moment they actually mattered. Picture your ancestor, 1 million years ago, covered head to toe in thick body hair. The temperature drops at dusk. His fur stands up, traps a cushion of warm air against his skin, and he survives the night. Days later, something large moves in the grass. His hair rises again, this time all over his body, and for a moment he looks bigger than he is, and the thing in the grass decides he isn't worth it. Both times, that tiny muscle under every hair did its job. Both times, it kept him alive. Then something happened. We lost the fur. Over roughly the last 1 million years, as our ancestors became long-distance walkers and runners on the hot African savanna, thick body hair became a liability. It trapped heat we desperately needed to shed. So we traded it for bare skin and millions of sweat glands, and we became the best long-distance sweaters in the animal kingdom. But here's the thing evolution never bothered to do. It never removed the muscles. The erector pili are still there, all of them, still attached to the fine, useless little hairs that replaced our fur, still wired to adrenaline, still firing on command. It's like a factory that was shut down 1 million years ago, but the machines still switch on every night and run production for nobody. When you get goosebumps in the cold, your body is trying to fluff up a coat that isn't there. When you get goosebumps in fear, your body is trying to make you look enormous, and instead, it makes you look like a plucked chicken. This is the definition of a vestigial trait, something that persists long after its purpose has vanished. Your tailbone, your wisdom teeth, the muscles some people can still use to wiggle their ears, and goosebumps, the loudest, most obvious ghost of all. Now, here is where the story stops being about fur and starts being about something far stranger. Because there is one trigger for goosebumps that makes no sense whatsoever. Music. There is no cold. There is no predator. There is no survival problem to solve. And yet a chord change, or a voice cracking on the right note, or the moment an orchestra swells and your arms erupt. Scientists actually have a word for this. frisson. And it's real enough to be measured. Somewhere between half and 2/3 of people experience it. When researchers put people in brain scanners and played the music that gave them chills, they found something remarkable. During those chills, the brain flooded its reward circuits with dopamine, the same chemical released by food, by love, by things your body considers deeply worth having. Your brain treats a beautiful piece of music like it treats survival. And it isn't only music. People report the same electric wave of bumps at a line of poetry, at a scene in a film, at the sight of an enormous landscape, at the moment a crowd of strangers falls silent together, anything that overwhelms you, anything too large to take in at once. And the leading explanation for why is beautiful in itself. Music, at its most powerful, works by setting up an expectation and then breaking it. A pattern builds, your brain quietly predicts what comes next, and then the music does something better. And in that instant, your nervous system registers something unexpected and significant, and it fires the same ancient alarm your ancestors used for a predator in the grass. Except now there's no danger, just meaning. Your fear circuit has been hijacked by beauty. And this is what makes Goosebumps so extraordinary. The same reflex that once puffed up your ancestors' fur to survive a freezing night now fires when a song reaches its final chorus. The same muscles that tried to make him look big enough to scare off a predator now tighten when someone says something that moves you, or when you hear a story about courage, or when you watch a crowd of strangers sing together. Evolution built you an emergency system, and you have quietly repurposed it as a receiver for awe. Nobody designed that. It just happened. So the next time your arms prickle and every fine hair lifts, understand what you're really watching. It isn't cold, it isn't weakness. It's a million-year-old reflex, older than language, older than fire, still faithfully doing a job that stopped existing before your species had a name. Millions of tiny muscles, standing at attention, raising fur that fell out an eon ago, saluting a threat that isn't there, or a song that is. Every goosebump is your body remembering an animal it hasn't been in a very long time. And when a piece of music lifts every hair on your arm, that animal, still living somewhere under your skin, is telling you that what you just heard mattered.